was kind of my brainchild, and then Eric made it a reality. Because in the beginning of the pitch, we talk about how I had this herbal functional syrup that I was making, and I wanted to do it at the farmer's market on site and mix it with carbonated water. So I had this really elaborate scheme, and Eric was literally like, that's a terrible idea. That was literally what you told me. But then he was like, or we could do it this way. And so he kind of took my idea and ran with it and made it a reality in a way that we could get it out and like it be an actual product.
We're at that stage. With my experience in the brew world, I saw people grow, and we're at that stage where we need to take that next big step. Distributors, large chain grocery stores. And so getting on those shelves sort of paves the way for what's next for us and helps us really sort of enter into that world and learn how it works and learn how we can do it. I'm Eric.
And I'm Sam, and this is our pitch for the Trailmix pitch competition. Hi team, I'm Sam. I'm the co-founder and functional flavor wizard at ERTH Beverage Company. In 2017, I was working for Whole Foods Market doing the purchasing and merchandising for the whole body department, which is the supplements and the body care together. I was also listening to a lot of the Side Hustle School podcast, and I decided I needed a side hustle of my own. So I was making these medicinal honey syrups that were super medicinal. I wanted to introduce people to herbs they otherwise wouldn't be exposed to, but I wanted to do it in a delicious way because herbal concoctions are notoriously disgusting. I had this very elaborate scheme where I was gonna take the syrups and I was gonna mix them on site at the farmer's market with carbonated water to make like an Italian soda. Enter my very no filter, very practical husband, Eric, who you met and you'll see again. He says, Sam, this is a terrible idea. But he follows with, we can do it better. So what began as an herbal syrup with poor execution is now a carbonated RTD functional beverage and a quest to fill a hole that we found in the category for simple, delicious products that are good for you, made by real humans with real ingredients. So the health market is inundated with healthy products, but the problem is people are sacrificing flavor for function, or they're focusing on taste and they're losing their ingredient integrity along the way. Companies are chasing nutrition stats, or they're following fad diets instead of just simple whole food approach. People are also moving away from these chemical isolated nutrients and these kind of frankenfoods. There's this big farm to table movement, or farm to can as we call it. This I know you've heard of. There's also a big zero proof sober curious movement going on. Move over craft beer because Switchel is here. Our consumers want to imbibe. They want to have interesting drinks, but they don't want to suffer later. So a good example of this is Beth. Beth is our avatar or our profile. She's a 30-something working woman. She works at a marketing firm. The cool thing about Beth is she can enjoy our product all day. So she can go and have her spin class and then drink a Switchel to recover and rehydrate afterwards. She can have it in the afternoon as a pick-me-up, or in the evening, she either A, has a ready-to-go cocktail, she just puts a shot in it, or B, she can completely negate the alcohol and just have our product. There's also another subset of people that we serve. After the last 3 years of direct-to-consumer sales in farmers markets and events, we've realized there are other people that benefit from Earth. So these people I'm going to tell you about are like legit, actual consumers of ours. So we have Dustin, and Dustin is the engineering student and gamer. He drinks our products while he's studying or leveling mages, whatever nerds do. And then there's Mimi. Mimi is our favorite sober curious consumer. She's the fiddle player of our favorite band, and she's new to sobriety. So we actually ship cases of product to wherever she's going to be, so she has something to hold in her can so people don't ask her awkward questions about if she's in recovery. It also helps her to stay on track. And then we have Holly, who is like the archetypal mom, and Holly doesn't let her kids eat anything processed at all. Her kids literally only drink ERTH Bevco. Our products are medicinally minded for the holistically curious, and so are our consumers. They have a diverse set of needs, and we have the solution. So enter ERTH Bevco. We have honey-sweetened Switchels and botanical sodas. They are a simple is better, back to the land, farm-to-can approach to the entire functional beverage line. No refined sugars, literally nothing artificial, never alcohol. We're a logical replacement for sports drinks, for sodas, and for chemical-laden zero-cal products. Our Switchels in particular is what we're known for, and they're based on a 17th century of what was the Gatorade of the time. We call it America's OG functional beverage. There's 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar per can in our products, organic honey, apple cider vinegar, and then whatever fruits or roots we put in there. The cool thing about Switchels is that we are converting the kombucha consumers within the category to trade in and trade up for an electrolyte drink that is prebiotic based, that's less funky than kombucha, has no refined sugar, no caffeine, and not even trace amounts of alcohol. This quote that's up here is by Dr. Axe. He's a well-known He's a chiropractor and functional medicine doctor, and he's saying that kombucha is going to have to move over because Switchel is on its way, and we're here for it. So here's some of the category stats. So the functional beverage category is obviously booming right now. It reached $125 billion in 2020, and it's projected to reach $217 billion by 2028. Our particular segment, which is the health and well-being segment, is the fastest moving within that. So now you're curious, you want to know where you can get us. These are just a few of the places. We actually have 50 retail partners right now. You can get us in bars, we're in restaurants, coffee shops, we're in quite a few break rooms around town. We're a really great grab and go. We also do grocery. I'm just going to highlight this really quick. So our velocity at the Boise Farmers Market is really excellent. We have 120 units a week between the two co-ops. I'm just going to leave that there so you can soak that in. Here's some fun things for our trajectory for the year. We've sold 70,000 single unit cans from January to September so far, just this year. This we're very proud of. In 2020, we launched an e-commerce site to help us navigate the pandemic. We currently have 114 monthly subscribers. Idaho, which is our home state, is obviously our biggest market. California is a massive market for us, followed by Oregon. So, and this is a fun trend for us. So in 2019, we were making around 90,000 in sales. In 2020, we were around 100,000 in sales. We had a big scale up, and so far year to date, we're at $256,000 in sales. So we sell single unit cans that MSRP for $4.99, they're 16 ounces. We also do a 4-pack that MSRPs at $15.99. And you're wondering, how do we get these products to our people? Literally any way that we can. We drive trial with tons of events. We're very active in our community. We make a ruckus on the social channels because we know that if we can get the product into people's mouths, we can get it into their baskets. This is the team. This is it, the two of us. So I'm Sam. I'm a master herbalist. I studied both Western herbalism and Chinese medicine. I studied nutrition at Bowman College. And then I spent 8 years in the health food sector. I worked for both natural grocers and Whole Foods Market. But I could not Captain Planet this project without my husband, Eric. Together, we're the dream team. I'm going to toot your horn for a minute.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Eric has a master's in biology. He studied culinary arts at Johnson & Wales. He has a decade of experience in production of beer. He worked at Odell Brewing in Fort Collins, and then he most recently worked at Payette, our very own Payette here. So he is a master of production and operations, and his flavor formulas are amazing. I'm going to let you explain the more technical side.
Okay, thanks for letting us trade off here and following along with us. I'm going to talk to you about our current production facility, how we source our ingredients, and then sort of finish out with a little bit about what our plans are for the future. So this is our production facility. It is in Garden City. It's a 1,900 square foot facility that we bootstrapped ourselves. By looking at the picture there, you can see a whole bunch of really cool equipment. That white thing over there in the corner is our reverse osmosis unit. So we're able to take that fine Garden City water and make it even better. We want to put perfectly clean and wonderful water into our product. I custom designed some of this stainless steel with some friends of mine in the brew industry. It's a 350-gallon tank, and we have two 350-gallon bright tanks or carbonation tanks that I perfectly carbonate the product with before we package it. We also have a 2,000 square foot cooler where we keep all of our cold storage. All of our product needs to be cold stored, so it's really important that it stays cold. That's just what happens when you use real ingredients without preservatives. Speaking of real ingredients, we are proud to say that we get 2 of our main ingredients from right here in the Treasure Valley. We source our honey from Steel Apiaries and our vinegar from Golden Valley Vinegar. Obviously, we can't always get local produce, whether that's seasonality or because consumers demand something more exotic and something more tropical. When that happens, I personally go out and vet companies for sustainability and quality. A great example of that is Kolokai Ginger Farms in Kauai, Hawaii, where we get all of our ginger from. So you know where we make it, you know how we get our ingredients, but can we make enough? Is this scalable? Well, I'm happy to say that it is. We're currently at 25% of what we can do. We're making about 5,000 cans per month, and we can do 5,000 cans a week. So we have plenty of capacity to scale up and even make more. So we can make a lot, but how do we plan on selling it? Well, we did 250 so far this year in 2021. and that was just Sam and I by ourselves. We understand that we need to grow this company, and in order to do that, we need to work with distributors and large chain grocery stores. To be honest, we built a lot of value in ERTH BevCo, the brand and the can itself. Our cans are $5 a pop, and customers don't bat an eye. Because of that, we feel like we have a lot of pricing power, and as we move forward in these relationships, we're going to really be able to have a mutually beneficial relationship with both distributors and grocery chains. So, if we win, what we want to do with our funds, we want to hire a sales rep because we're going to need help. We understand that our product just isn't going to get on the Albertsons shelves and move itself. We need to do work as well. So we want to hire a sales rep that we can do a lot of developing sort of marketing plans for so that we can make sure that our product flies off the shelves. In closing, I just want you guys to know that we do understand that it's a mutually beneficial relationship and that we need to work hard to make sure that we get the velocity we need so that we can both benefit from this relationship. Thank you very much, and I'll bring Sam up for further questions.
Hi, Sam and Eric. This is really good stuff.
That's a good one.
I was curious about switching costs. You have multiple, I'm sure you probably have more than just the 4 that were in our 4-pack. So how do you, is there a base beverage that you then add things to? Do you have to mix them all independently? Kind of talk to me a little bit about how that works when you're manufacturing different flavors.
Yeah, so it kind of depends on, what it is. Our Switchels definitely have a base, and that is the apple cider vinegar, fresh pressed ginger, and honey. When we're doing something more like a botanical soda, the world is kind of our oyster as far as what we want to do. Our botanical sodas, the one you're drinking right there, does not have apple cider vinegar or ginger in it. That's more focused on the medicinal mushrooms and then some of these more antioxidant fruits. So it's really just kind of our oyster. I have a lot of different ways, kind of technical ways that we can introduce these things. We are most known for our Switchels, but the botanical sodas sell really well for those people who don't like the vinegar taste.
This is Caitlin. Sorry if I missed this, but what is your shelf life? Because these obviously have to be cold. So I'm assuming that they would what would your idea be on where these would be housed? Like I'm thinking would they be in the kind of the produce area with the other kombucha drinks? Is that your thought process?
Yeah, we generally are on the shelves right near the kombucha. One of the great spots for us is right next to the Kavita, which they do an apple cider vinegar product as well. They're owned by Pepsi, I believe. But when you put us right next to them, people understand that and they trade in and trade up for our product. We are right now currently at a 90-day shelf life. Once the product is purchased, essentially that's more based on my flavor profile. I think that the flavors start falling off after 90 days. And that's something that in the future, I think that we're very willing to work with developing, further and trying to figure some of those things out.
Have you thought about a glass bottle versus a can just due to the aluminum can shortages we're having? Does that raise your cost up quite a bit right now?
It would. The reason we go aluminum, I know there's been a little bit of a shortage. We haven't had a problem yet. I know some people have. The can, it's just more recyclable, especially here in Idaho. I don't know if you know this, but we don't really recycle our glass here. It all goes out to a giant pile in the desert. So we just feel like in some ways that can be more sustainable. Also just shipping, if we wind up being regional and we're going other places, throwing pallets of glass on, it's heavier, it's more costly for those kind of things. So we just feel like cans is the better way to go.
Plus the experience of popping open a can's more fun than opening a bottle. Yeah, it's just better. Thanks for spending your afternoon here. We appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.